myself many times, and I spend like 12 minutes and 50 seconds. If I speak non-stop, but if I make some pause, it's going to be over. Just please forgive me. Today I'm here to share with you the latest trend in Thai contemporary literature that has received Japanese influence, so that it has created what we can call a subculture or a wide subculture in Thailand, to be more specific. And most likely, the Japanese themselves do not even know this trend in Thailand, although it really is from Japan. And it's more or less the talk about cross-cultural influence and literature at the same time, and it's about what is considered a minority group, LGBT, in Thailand. So the title for this presentation goes like, the presentation of love in Sodus and Two Moons, a study of love in Y literature as a part of LGBT subculture in Thailand. So first of all, to help you follow me more easily, please allow me to state what I try to do with my current study, and in which way my attempt is directed to. How do I go back? Up. Okay, left and right, okay. Firstly, I like to introduce the emergence of Y subculture in Thailand and Y literature, which has its root in the Japanese yaoi and yuri. There are some strange words here, like Y literature, yaoi, and yuri, which I will explain later in my presentation. Secondly, this study is to examine a new trend in Thai LGBT literature, and here I would like to focus on how love is presented in the two novels that I have chosen as representatives, Sodus and Two. Let me give you a bit of background about LGBT community in Thailand first. To be brief, there are two important facts I'd like to state. Fact number one, as a Buddhist country, the Thai LGBT people tend to think that being LGBT has its cause from their bad deeds or karma in their past lives, which we don't know when, maybe many years ago, or many lives before they were born into these present lives. That bad behavior is adultery. If somebody is unfaithful to their partners when they are born again, they're gonna be lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, or any other kind of sexual minority. That's a Buddhist belief. And fact number two is, again, probably due to Thai Buddhism and the nature of Thai people and culture, Thai LGBT community is getting more recognized now than in the past, although there is still no law to endorse same-sex marriage. In education, knowledge about LGBT is not seriously taught in school. Discrimination still exists. Hate speech against LGBT community still occurs, but the atmosphere on the whole is getting more supportive, if not more understanding and receptive. Let me move on to show you what the two novels in my study look like. They are actually gay novels, as the protagonists are men. First, Sodus, published in 2015 by Bittersweet, a female novelist, and maybe on your left is the cover of the book, and on your right is a picture of a TV series of the same title, which gained huge popularity. As you can see on the cover of the novel, the artwork has a kind of atmosphere of Japanese manga or light novel. And this is the other novel. This is the novel called Two Moons, published in 2016, written by Chiffon Cake, again a female novelist. It is a set of 3 books, and the first installment has been adapted into a TV series and has a lot of loyal followers, both Thai and foreign viewers. And of course, these two novels are called Y novels or Y literature. What is a Y novel anyway? Now, the origin of Y subculture and Y novel in Thailand. The term Y that I'm using here is a jargon, only understood in Thailand. This letter Y comes from 2 Japanese words. One is yaoi and the other is yuri. Yaoi, well, a brief explanation. goes like that. Goes like this: Japanese gay novel, and Yuri is a Japanese lesbian novel. Now let me elaborate more on this. So when we talk about Y culture as a whole, it means LGBT relationships usually envisioned or imagined by supporters who know the persons, both fictional characters or real persons involved in that relationships. In Thai language, therefore, there are such words like Niyai Y or Y novels or LGBT novels, or Lakon Y, which means a TV series with an LGBT person as the main character, and Sao Y, or young women who love Y subculture. The term is actually derived from Japanese language. Well, the Japanese do not call it the same way anymore. Well, in Japanese, there is the word yaoi, and it is an acronym of Yama Nashi, or no peak, Ochi Nashi, or no fall, and Imi Nashi, or no meaning. So you don't understand what is going on when it was first released at that time. It was new to, it was a new genre to the Japanese readers. It is a literary genre of fictional contents featuring homosexual love between male characters. On the other hand, literature featuring lesbian relationships is described as Yuri or Lily. Yuri or Lily is a common noun and a typical Japanese female name. The yaoi and Yuri are two different terms in Japanese, but they share the same initial Y, as you can see that. So the letter Y lends its name as an umbrella term for the entire LGBT literature in Thai language, with a stronger image of male relationships than that of female ones, as yaoi was introduced to Thai readers prior to Yuri, and there are more number of yaoi novels written by Thai writers. Sodas and Two Moons are basically Y novels, but they are specifically gay novels with a theme of puppy love that mainly appeals to Y girls and occasional LGBT readers. Now, let's have a look at the story of two novels. The extreme conflict in Sodas, many Thai universities now still employ the hazing system, requiring younger students to obey senior students through group activities and varied challenges to include new students to that particular department. But together with the hazing, the notion of Sodas, a Thai-made English acronym for seniority, order, tradition, unity, and spirit is introduced to the new members. This set of practice sometimes goes beyond friendly treatment and results in physical torture by the first-year students. The novel Sodas utilizes these controversial hazing activity as the main setting where two protagonists, Gongpok and Atik, confront each other. The quarrels between the two during activities make Atik pay more attention to Gongpok from time to time, and he wonders why this guy seems to have no hatred toward him. Gongpok actually starts to like Atik and has little hesitations to show Atik his feelings. After the initial rituals, their lives are back to normal, and Atik hesitates, but finally decides to date Gongpok, not knowing what exactly makes him do so. So the story is very simple. Now the other story of the Two Moons, well, like Sodas, Two Moons has its main setting in a university, and it utilizes a college culture in which each school would select its prominent students of the year, which is an equivalent of a beauty pageant, where good-looking contestants show their attitudes and special skills. And Wario is a contestant from Faculty of Science. He has secretly fallen in love with his senior schoolmates. And Pana, who is now a medical student in the same university. And through a series of quarrels and misunderstandings, both of them finally confess to each other. And that's the happy end of this story. Okay, very simple. And next is the representation of love. Sodas and Two Moon have something in common: love among conflicts. In other words, the love theme is presented in situational conflicts. However, both works rely on an ordinary theme found in most love stories, only different in that they are same-sex love. And it should be noted that the conflicts here are not about sexual identity or social stigma as present in traditional Thai LGBT novels of the former generations. Another familiar feature is the ability of the protagonist to figure out the good nature beneath aggressive behaviors of their beloved guy. So it's more or less a Stockholm syndrome. So Sodas and Two Moons are simply love stories of a family theme and with a shift from male-female love to gay or bisexual couples. And next is Love is for All. Love is for all. And Thai society, as in many countries, has been under the mainstream of influence forcing the representation of LGBT in traditional novels to become like social struggle kind of story. However, modern LGBT novels ignore such treatment and depict sexual orientation only at vague social norms. In other words, those who never thought of themselves as LGBT persons can fall in love with same-sex partners if they meet the right persons at any time. And unlike traditional Thai LGBT novels, these two works never seriously address the issue of sexual identity, sexual orientation, and sexual acceptance. In Sodas, at one time, a friend says to Gong Pop that, "I never knew you feel attracted to men." And Gong Pop replies that, "No, it's not that I like men. I only like Atit because he is him." Or in Two Moon, characters like Pana and his friends, although at some point are slightly unsure of the exact feelings that they have toward their partners, they openly admit that they fall in love with a guy, and this kind of portrayal points to the clear return of a person-specific love regardless of gender in YA novels in Thailand right now. So let me summarize. And I think I'm going to make it in time. And in Thai LGBT community, right now, it has produced the so-called Y subculture, which is a jargon only understood in Thailand. And Y literature is a part of this recently emerging subculture and getting more popularity in recent years. In Y novels, a change in the representations of LGBT and love can be easily noticed. Sodas and Two Moons, both of which gay stories written by a few female writers, are different from those written a few decades ago. Their contents indicate a shift in the treatment of the themes in LGBT novels from issues of sexual identity and orientation to an ordinary love theme, and from unrequited love to happy end. Although love story itself is not new in literature, Sodas and Two Moons, as in most Y novels, attempt to claim through the changing attitudes of their main characters that love is universal and has nothing to do with gender.